Hey Bethel family, thanks so much for joining us for our daily hope devotional. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some questions that I had when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to live in a brick home, and I always wondered how in the world did they make a home out of bricks? You can't just throw a bunch of bricks on top of each other, it just doesn't hold. And then I looked at the bricks closer and I realized that there was a glue between them, a mortar that would help hold them together. The mortar is the glue that solidified the bricks so it could stand against tough weather and all kinds of things. And as I began to think about it, I realized that our bodies had something similar inside. We're made up of millions and millions of cells, actually trillions of cells, and holding those cells together is something called laminin. Now, these laminin holds the cells together so that they can function properly. They can do their role, which is to make signals and notifications and all that stuff. And laminin's really interesting because if you look at laminin closely under a microscope, it's actually in the shape of a cross. And I thought about that and I thought that was pretty cool, that the glue that holds our bodies together, our cells together, are in the shape of a cross. I think that for me, it's such a great reminder that we're God's creation, individually made and formed by His hands. Romans 1:20 says that even though we can't see His invisible qualities, that through His visible works, we're able to see the evidence of God's hands and we can't deny His existence. And it's like that laminin in our cells. It's like His thumbprint on our lives, leaving us a physical reminder that He was the one who created and formed us. Colossians 1:16 through 17 also says this, "For in Him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through Him and for Him. He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together." Laminin is that picture that Jesus and His sacrifice on the cross is the glue that's holding our bodies and our lives together. I don't know about you, but there's moments, especially recently, when I've just felt so overwhelmed. I felt really, really overwhelmed. And maybe you're like me, sometimes you just have a really bad day. In those days and in those moments, we can remember, like that glue that holds us together, that Jesus in His strength and His power is holding us and our life in the palm of His hand. He's holding on to us and keeping us together. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, "But He said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me." Wow, God's grace, it's enough for us. In His power, it's made perfect when we're weak. So when we're facing those tough situations or we just can't seem to get things right, let's remember that in those moments, that's when we need to be leaning into God's presence, leaning into His grace, leaning into His love, and He's going to take care of us because He's the one that's holding us together like that glue. So let's remember that today. Let's rest in that fact today that the Lord, He's holding it all. He's the King over it all. He's victorious over all. And because of that, we get to experience that same feeling. We get to experience the same victory and the same strength because God is at work in us and through us. He's holding us now and forever. So I hope you stay encouraged today, Bethel family. We love you and we're praying for you. We hope you have a great day today.